Hey guys, EC Network here, coming at you with another video. So I didn't realize this, but Cartoon Network lost yet another series that has been long-standing on the channel. So what exactly do I mean by this? Well, if you guys remember, during the mid-2010s, Cartoon Network lost a lot of shows that had been on the channel for pretty much the entirety of that show's life. What I mean by this is, for example, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Beyblade. Those shows were on Cartoon Network for a long time. Every Pokemon, every Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think almost every Beyblade, if not every Beyblade, they were on Cartoon Network at one point or another, and during that period of time, they were all leaving the network for Disney, Nickelodeon, and Disney XD. Well, it turns out now, another show has been added to that list in Bakugan. I didn't realize this, but apparently the third season of the Bakugan reboot, being Bakugan Rising, actually left Cartoon Network to go to Netflix, which this to me is really huge, and I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even hear about this, so it flew under the radar, but Bakugan was on Cartoon Network since its inception. Bakugan, up until Bakugan Rising, every single Bakugan has been on Cartoon Network. It was Battle Brawlers, they had New Vestroya, they had Gundalian Invaders, Mectanium Surge, and then Battle Planet and Armored Alliance. Every iteration of Bakugan was on Cartoon Network, so this to me is huge that this franchise has now left the network as of 2021. Now that begs the question, why did Bakugan leave Cartoon Network after it's been on the channel for its entire life? And I would say honestly, well, this is speculative of course, I would say it's probably because Cartoon Network never aired the reboot, really. I never saw the reboot air reruns on Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network, as we all know, they only air pretty much Teen Titans Go, The Amazing World of Gumball, Craig of the Creek, and occasionally Total Dramarama. The rest of the shows currently on the network, they really never air reruns, so I would have to imagine that's probably why Bakugan left Cartoon Network, because straight up, the show just wasn't being aired on the channel. So now that they're on Netflix, kids can go on Netflix and watch any episode of Bakugan at any given moment whenever they want. That's giving Bakugan more exposure to more people, as opposed to when it was with Cartoon Network, they only aired it on TV when there were new episodes. When there wasn't a new episode, they weren't airing reruns, so people would easily forget about the series. Of course, Netflix could have come in and been like, hey, we'll give you more money to have Bakugan on Netflix than for you to leave Cartoon Network. That could very well have been the case as well, but I think more likely than not, it was probably because Bakugan was just straight up never on Cartoon Network. I never once saw a rerun of Bakugan on the channel on a daily basis. Like maybe when the show first came out, they had, it rerun at a certain time for a few weeks or something like that, but otherwise I never saw a rerun of Bakugan. Like I said, I watched the first episode, I remember, live on the channel when it first came out, of the reboot that is, in 2019, but other than that, I never saw an episode of Bakugan on Cartoon Network. It was just that, like every other series on Cartoon Network, they don't air reruns. They put it on at a time when most people aren't watching, just because, hey, Cartoon Network is only meant to air Teen Titans Go, The Amazing World of Gumball, and Craig of the Creek, and the occasional Total Dramarama. This is a big problem with Cartoon Network, especially it's telling to me that Bakugan, a series that's been on the channel since, the original came out back in the mid-2000s, has now left for Netflix. The same thing happened with Pokemon, the same thing happened with Yu-Gi-Oh, same thing happened with Beyblade. All of these animes that were essentially, being made to sell merchandise, to sell toys, or in the case of Yu-Gi-Oh, a card game, they were all on Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network was the home of all of these. They even had other ones that are not, the big ones. They're not the big Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or Beyblade. There were some smaller ones as well that were on Cartoon Network. And now if you look at the channel, they don't have any of those series anymore. Like for example, Yokai Watch premiered on Disney XD back in the mid-2010s. If this was the mid-2000s, there is no chance that Yokai Watch would have not been on Cartoon Network, because it was almost automatic that if you were a show that was selling some sort of game or toy or something, you were on Cartoon Network. You weren't on Disney, you weren't on Nick. Cartoon Network was the home for those shows, and now today we look at that and the shows go anywhere but Cartoon Network. It just really shows how things have changed over the years, and how Cartoon Network really isn't isn't what it once was, even in the eyes of these content creators when they're trying to find a home for these acquired shows. Cartoon Network isn't where they're going anymore. They're going to Disney XD and Nickelodeon and even Netflix. Before I sign off, one other example of this is if you look at Transformers. Transformers in the 2000s had Armada, Energon, Cybertron, and Animated all on Cartoon Network until it left to go to the Hub. Then it went from the Hub to back to Cartoon Network for the 2015 series. I forgot the title of it at the moment. But then it once again left Cartoon Network after that with the new Transformers coming out on Nickelodeon later this year. That was another series that was on Cartoon Network for the better part of a decade, and now it's on Nickelodeon. It's not on Cartoon Network anymore. It just really shows how all of these shows, they went to Cartoon Network back in the day. That was the first place they would go to, and now today Cartoon Network is an afterthought. They're going to Nick, they're going to Disney XD, and they're even going to Netflix, a streaming service, over Cartoon Network. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all of this. What do you think about the situation that all of these acquired programs are not coming to Cartoon Network anymore, but instead going to the competition? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.